Greetings to each and everyone. We are the Group 3. Today we are going to tackle about linear programming and mathematics of finance that includes discussing simple and compound interest, and credit cards and consumer loans. Today's discussion is entitled Financial Math Importance in Everyday Life, with the theme Mathematical Finance Applications in Daily Life. Before anything else, these are the objectives. First, to know simple and compound interest and its uses in everyday situations. Second, to understand how to construct the best investment strategies that minimizes risk in the real world. And lastly, to apply mathematical formulas and equations to financial problems, marketing modeling, and data analysis. Knowing the purpose of simple and compound interest has been beneficial to us. Credit cards and auto loans have interest rates too, even though they have higher risks to take on.
Let us first tackle the term interest. Interest is the amount paid for the use of money. It is also paid for the money borrowed from a bank. Accordingly, the money deposited or borrowed is called principal. The interest percent charged or earned is called rate. The number of years the money is invested or borrowed is called time. And the money paid for its use or growth for investment is called interest.
Hey guys, guess what?
What's up?
I joined an online game with over 100 players and I won.
Wow, that's great. You're really good at it. I know you can do it. True, but what's the prize?
Don't get me started with the prize. It's the most amazing part.
Then, what is it?
I won 10,000 pesos.
Wow, nice. But what are your plans with the money then?
I'm actually planning on investing it for 5 years so it will grow.
Well, if that is your plan, I suggest you invest it in my non-cooperative group that offers 2% interest rate per year.
That's right. To give you a view on what's gonna happen with your money, we will explain it to you.
To start off, your 10,000 pesos, which will be the principal, will be multiplied to 0.02, which is the 2% interest rate. After getting the product, multiply it by 5, which is the number of years you're going to invest it.
Correct. And now, you have the product that is equivalent to 1,000 pesos. That is the interest or the growth of your money invested. By adding it to your 10,000 pesos, you will have a total amount of 11,000 pesos after 5 years.
Wow, for me that's a big grant money. Thank you for explaining it to me. I'm still actually finding ways to grow it bigger, but I guess I can start off with that cooperative group we were talking about.
That's a good move though.
Thank you. By the way, after 5 years, once I get the money, we'll get something to drink. My drink.
Sure, looking forward then. Let's go.
Simple interest. Simple interest is the interest that does not become part of the principal. The formula is I is equals to P RT, wherein I is the interest, P is the principal, R is the interest rate, and T is the number of years.
Solving the previous problem, we are going to use the simple interest formula. Principal is equal to 10,000, rate is equal to 2% or 0.02 in decimal, and T is equal to 5. Interest rate is equal to 10,000 times 0.02 times 5. After calculating it, we will have the product of 1,000. 1,000 is now the amount of interest or growth we have from investing 10,000 for 5 years having 2% interest rate. To get the total amount, add the principal to the interest. We have 10,000 plus 1,000 equal 11,000. On the end of 5 years, we'll have a total amount of 11,000 pesos.
Hey, can I ask you a favor?
Sure, what is it?
Can you come with me to the bank? I'm planning on investing the money I've been saving the past few months. I want to invest it for 5 years, at least, to have it grow.
No problem, sure, let's go.
Wait, I think she's familiar. You're one of those who work in a bank, right?
Yes, right. It's amazing that you can still recognize me.
Oh, wow! If that's the case, can I ask you a question about investing the money?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Basically, I have 8,000 pesos here which I plan on investing it for at least 5 years. If I invest it, which between simple interest and compound interest having the same 2% interest rate per year, should I choose?
Well, for simple interest, 8,000, which is the principal, times 0.02, which is the 2% interest rate, times 5, which is the number of years you're going to invest your money, you're going to have the product of 800. By adding 8,000 to 800, you're going to have the amount of 8,800 pesos after 5 years.
Well, that's kind of a small amount.
Yes. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the compound interest, you're gonna have 8,000, which is the principal, times 1 plus 0.02, which is the interest rate that is 2%, divided by 1, which is the conversion periods in years, raised to the power of 1 times 5, which is the number of years you're going to invest your money. By calculating the parenthesis, you're gonna have the product of 1.02 raised to the power of 5 times 8,000. You will have the answer of 9,274 pesos, which will be the amount of your money after 5 years.
So, in simple interest, I will only have 8,800 pesos, while in compound interest, I will have 9,274 pesos.
Exactly.
Thank you for the help. It means a lot.
You're welcome. Anyways, I should go now. Good luck with your investments.
Thank you, bye.
Compound interest. Compound interest is the interest that the sum becomes the new principal amount. The formula for annual compound interest, including principal sum, where A is the future value, P is the principal investment amount, R is the annual interest rate in decimal, N is the number of times that interest is compounded per year, T is the number of years the money is invested or borrowed for.
For instance, we will use the problem given in the roleplay previously. You plan to invest your money with 2% interest rate compounded annually for 5 years. At the end of the period, how much money will you get? Using the formula A is equal to P times 1 plus R divided by N raised to the power of N times T, we are going to substitute the value and we will have the formula of A is equal to 8,000 times 1 plus 0.02 divided by 1 raised to the power of 1 times 5. First, solve for the parentheses. 0.02 divided by 1 is 0.02, plus 1 is equal to 1.02. Next, solve for the exponent. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. Then, solve 1.02 raised to the power of 5 and multiply it to the principal, which is 8,000. And now, we will have the product of 9,274, which is the amount of money you will get at the end of the period.
Now let's talk about credit cards and consumer loans. First, we have credit cards. According to Latoya Year Review of 2019, credit card is a plastic card that lets you access the credit limit your credit card issuers gives you. A credit limit, by the way, is like a loan. However, instead of giving you the full loan in cash, the bank lets you take a match of the credit as you want at a time and allows you to reuse the loan over and over as long as you pay what you have borrowed. According to Janet Berry Johnson, APR or the annual percentage rate is one of the key factors you should consider when shopping for a credit. Finding the lowest rate available to you means comparing offers and card terms carefully.
Here's what you should look for. Introductory or promotional APR. Many cards offer an introductory APR, usually 0% on balance transfer or purchases for anywhere for a few months to a year. This can be super helpful, but make sure you read the terms and conditions and pay off balance before the APR jumps up to its regular rate. Regular APR. After introductory period, most cards offer a range of variables APRs depending on your credit worthiness. Generally speaking, the lower end of the APR range is reversed for consumers with good to excellent credit. On the other hand, the higher APRs are for consumers at the lower end of eligible credit scores. Your actual rate will be determined by the issuer when you apply, but looking at your credit scores before applying may give you a better idea of what to expect.
Next is cash APR. Banks and issuers typically charge a higher rate for cash advances and interest accrues, though there is no grace period here. And for this reason, it is recommended to avoid credit card cash advances whenever possible. Lastly is the penalty APR. If you miss a payment, the credit card company may raise your rate in addition to charging you a late fee.
Consumer loans. Consumer loans means a secured or unsecured loan given to customers for personal, family, or household purposes or for consumable items such as cars, boat, manufactured home, home equity loan, home equity line of credit, signature loan, signature line credit, and recreational vehicle. It is usually given on the basis of borrower's integrity and ability to pay. It is also called consumer lending, consumer credit, or retail lending. In general, the higher your credit score, the lower the rate will be. Individuals with excellent credit, which is defined as any FICO credit score between 720 and 850, should expect to find rates at about 10% to 12%, and many individuals may even qualify for lower rates. FICO credit, by the way, is a particular brand of credit score. Back to the topic. Lenders' interest rates on unsecured personal loans typically range between 5% and 36%. Lastly, consumer loans must comply with the Consumer Protection Regulation and they are monitored by government regulatory agencies. Consumer loan does not include mortgage loans used for home purchases and commercial loans.